Hi everyone, welcome to Miss Adams Predicts Macbeth. We're going to be looking at predictions for the AQA Macbeth paper for 2024. So I'm going to take you through the questions from the last 7 years, the extracts and what the theme was, see if we can spot any trends or spot any patterns to help just give a bit of a steer to your revision. Obviously I don't have a crystal ball, so make sure that you revise widely and broadly, but for now, let's get started. Okay, so let's have a little look at what came up. Last year's was an absolute cracker at 5 Scene 3 with Macbeth as a character who changes. It was an absolute blessing. So I always have that fear when there's been a cracking one the year before that it might be something a little less obvious. So the main thing that I noticed when I look at what's come up over the last 7 years, sorry, is that so far nothing has come up from Act 4. And obviously in Act 4 you've got some interesting things. You've got the witches, you've got the murder of Macduff's family, and then you also have the really difficult bit in Act 4 Scene 3 where Malcolm tests Macduff's loyalty to Scotland by suggesting he would be a really bad king. And so I just had this, like, if it was a hard paper, then I could imagine something either on Act 4 focusing on Macduff, or on something like Act 4 Scene 3 focusing on kingship and what it is to be a king, because that's the kind of crux of the conversation between Malcolm and Macduff. Malcolm is saying, I don't have any of the kingly graces. Scotland is in a pickle if I become king. Joke, lol. Such a weird scene. So that is something that I think is quite possible. I also noticed that we've only had Act 3 Scene 1. So we've not had anything from, for example, like Banquo's ghost, Act 3 Scene 4, which could lead to kind of maybe something on guilt or remorse or even madness. Or maybe the supernatural. Because we've had Macbeth and Banquo's attitude to the witches in Act 1 Scene 3, but not necessarily like the significance of the witches overall. So that is a possibility. You've only had one from Act 2 Scene 2. So, you know, there is a possibility of getting like the soliloquy in Act 2 Scene 1, or the kind of responses to Duncan's death as a possibility, maybe with a kind of movement towards guilt. We've not had power come up yet as a theme either, and that's obviously quite an important one, so maybe prepare for that too. I mean, when it comes down to it, as I always say, you must prepare for anything, okay? Revise broadly and widely, because exam boards have a duty to not be predictable, okay? So there might be a guy that's going, we've not done Act 4, we better not do Act 4 because that's too obvious. That's it from me. Hopefully the revision is going well. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, it would be amazing if you could. It helps me to be here creating this content for you, so please subscribe, share. Thank you again, and happy revising.